Good morning, everyone. I'm very pleased to welcome you all today. Thank you for joining this session. Today, we will be exploring the topic of documentation quality assurance, or DQA. I am Dr. S.K. Singh, and I will guide you through this important subject. In this presentation, we will cover the key aspects of maintaining high-quality documentation, best practices, and how DQA can improve our processes. So let's get started and make this session both informative and engaging. The objective of data quality assurance, or DQA, is to make sure that all GXP documents are accurate, complete, and compliant with regulatory standards. This helps support traceability, meaning we can track everything clearly, and ensures we're always prepared for inspections or audits. It also plays a key role in preventing compliance risks that could arise from poor documentation. Ultimately, DQA enables us to maintain consistent and controlled operations across all processes. You might have heard the saying, "If it's not documented, it didn't happen." That's a core GMP principle. Nothing is considered official unless it's properly documented. Now, when we talk about the key principles of documentation under Good Documentation Practices, or GDP, the focus is on clarity and reliability. Documentation should be clear, legible, and indelible, meaning it should stand the test of time and be easily understood. Entries should be made contemporaneously, meaning at the time the activity occurs, to ensure accuracy. Overwriting is a no-go. All entries should be permanent and traceable. We also need a controlled documentation system, one that manages versions and ensures proper approval processes are in place. This way, we keep everything consistent, accurate, and compliant, supporting our overall quality and regulatory readiness. So let's talk about what documentation QA, or DQA, actually is. Essentially, it's a system designed to manage, review, and control all GMP documents. The main goal here is to make sure everything complies with regulatory expectations, which is crucial in our industry. When we look at the scope of DQA, it includes a variety of document types such as SOPs, BMRs and BPRs, protocols, and reports. It also covers logbooks, forms, and electronic records. The key point to remember is that DQA ensures the entire documentation lifecycle is under control. This means from creation to review, approval, revision, and archiving, every step is managed to maintain accuracy, consistency, and compliance. In essence, DQA acts as a backbone for regulatory adherence and quality assurance in our documentation processes. Let's take a closer look at the documentation lifecycle. It starts with drafting, where we create the initial version of the document. Then comes review, where peers or experts check for accuracy and completeness. Once reviewed, the document moves to approval, ensuring it meets all necessary standards before release. Issuance follows, making the documentation officially available for use. Implementation is the next step, where the documented procedures are put into practice. Throughout this process, revision and change control are critical to manage updates and ensure consistency. Finally, archival and retention involve storing the documents securely for future reference. This life cycle is essential because it ensures full traceability of all documentation activities. When we talk about data integrity, the ALCOA Plus principles are fundamental. ALCOA stands for attributable, legible, contemporaneous, original, and accurate. These are the core elements that guarantee data quality. The plus, ALCOA Plus, adds completion, consistency, enduring, and available, further strengthening data integrity. Why is this important? Because thorough documentation and adherence to these principles are critical during regulatory inspections. They demonstrate that our data is trustworthy and compliant. So, understanding this life cycle and these principles helps us maintain high standards and ensures our data stands up to scrutiny. Now let's take a closer look at SOP management. SOP stands for Standard Operating Procedure, and it's a crucial part of ensuring consistency and quality in our operations. The structure of an SOP typically includes the purpose, scope, and responsibility sections. These define why the SOP exists, what areas it covers, and who is responsible for following it. Then, we have the procedure itself, which is the step-by-step process, and references, which point to related documents or standards. Controlled issuance is vital. It ensures that only the correct, up-to-date versions are used. And to keep everything relevant and effective, SOPs should be reviewed periodically, usually every 2 to 3 years. Before implementing any SOP, proper training is essential so everyone understands and can follow the procedures accurately. Now, moving on to the types of GMP documents. The foundation is the Quality Manual, which provides an overview of the quality management system. SOPs, of course, are the detailed instructions for specific activities. Batch manufacturing records, or BMRs, document each batch's manufacturing details, while batch packaging records, or BPRs, do the same for packaging. Validation protocols and reports are key for ensuring processes are effective and reproducible. Lastly, logbooks and forms are used throughout production to record ongoing activities, observations, and data, helping us maintain traceability and control. All these documents work together to support a robust GMP framework and ensure product quality at every step. Now, it's crucial that errors are corrected properly, and that means avoiding erasing or deleting information. Instead, we use strike-throughs to show corrections clearly. Moving on, when it comes to electronic documentation and compliance, we need to adhere to regulations like 21 CFR Part 11. This includes ensuring the integrity of electronic signatures, maintaining detailed audit trails, and securing data effectively. Additionally, using electronic quality management systems, or EQMS and EDMS systems, helps us manage records efficiently and compliantly. These measures are vital because they ensure the integrity of electronic records throughout their life cycle. Now, let's talk about batch records and documentation control. The batch manufacturing record, or BMR, and batch production record, or BPR, must be pre-approved by QA before use. They should be filled out in real time during manufacturing, not afterward, to ensure accuracy. And of course, they need to be reviewed thoroughly before releasing a batch for distribution. These steps are key to maintaining compliance and quality in our manufacturing process. Overall, these practices help us uphold integrity and traceability, which are at the heart of a robust quality system. Let's talk about deviation, change control, and documentation. All documentation errors are considered deviations, which means they need to be properly managed to maintain quality and compliance. We control these deviations through a few key processes: deviation reporting, CAPA, or corrective and preventive actions, and change control. These tools help us address issues systematically and prevent uncontrolled changes, which are not allowed in our processes. Moving on to document review and audits, it's essential that our documentation is thoroughly reviewed periodically by QA. This ongoing review helps catch any potential issues early. We also conduct internal audits, or self-inspections, to ensure our processes are functioning as they should. And of course, regulatory inspections are part of this cycle, where auditors review our documentation to verify compliance. It's important to realize that during audits, documentation becomes the primary focus. Having accurate, complete, and well-maintained records is critical because it demonstrates our adherence to regulatory standards and internal procedures. Keeping our documentation under control is fundamental to maintaining the integrity of our quality system. Let's take a closer look at some common documentation risks that can really impact our compliance. First, data integrity breaches are a major concern. These happen when data is altered, lost, or improperly handled, which can undermine the trustworthiness of our records. Next, backdated or falsified entries are another significant risk. When records are altered to show activities occurred at different times or to hide issues, it can lead to serious regulatory questions. Missing records are equally problematic because they create gaps in our documentation trail, making it hard to demonstrate compliance during inspections. Uncontrolled SOPs, or standard operating procedures, pose risks when they aren't properly maintained or followed, leading to inconsistencies in processes. Lastly, incomplete batch records can jeopardize product quality and traceability, which are critical in our industry. Now, why do these risks matter so much? Well, they are the major causes of regulatory observations like FDA 483s and warning letters. These are clear signals from regulators that our documentation practices need improvement. By understanding and addressing these risks, we can strengthen our compliance and avoid costly penalties. So, ensuring the integrity, accuracy, and completeness of our records isn't just about following rules. It's about safeguarding our reputation and the quality of our products. Let's talk about some of the key challenges we face in managing documentation and records. First, human errors in documentation are a significant concern. Despite our best efforts, mistakes can happen when data is manually entered or updated, which can lead to inaccuracies and impact decision-making. Next, managing large volumes of records is another major challenge. As organizations grow, the sheer amount of data we need to handle increases exponentially, making it harder to organize, retrieve, and maintain everything efficiently. Maintaining data integrity is also crucial. Ensuring that the information stays accurate, consistent, and trustworthy over time requires robust processes and controls. Any compromise here can undermine the entire system's reliability. Finally, many organizations deal with hybrid systems, using both paper and electronic records. Integrating these two formats can be complex, often leading to discrepancies or gaps if not managed carefully. All these challenges highlight why developing effective, integrated record management strategies is so important for operational success and compliance. When it comes to best practices, implementing an electronic quality management system, or EQMS, along with an electronic document management system, or EDMS, is fundamental. These tools help us streamline document control, ensure version accuracy, and facilitate easy access to critical information. Equally important are strong training programs. They ensure everyone knows how to correctly follow procedures and maintain compliance, which is vital for quality and consistency across the board. Periodic document audits also play a crucial role. They help us identify any gaps or discrepancies in our documentation, keeping everything up to date and in line with regulatory standards. Adopting a culture of right first time, documentation encourages us all to get things right the first time, reducing errors and rework. It's about fostering a mindset where quality and accuracy are always the top priorities. And tying all these practices together is a robust data quality assurance, or DQA program. A strong DQA ensures our documentation and data are reliable, which is essential for inspection readiness and maintaining compliance. Ultimately, these best practices reinforce our overall commitment to quality, helping us stay prepared for inspections and ensure we meet the highest standards in everything we do. For further support, please don't hesitate to contact us. We're here to help you with any questions or additional information you might need. Thank you so much for your time and attention today. We truly appreciate your interest and engagement. If you need anything moving forward, remember we're just a message or call away. Thanks again, and have a great day.